It scans me and shows how to do the exercises correctly. A printer for printing biological tissue. Here you can be the scariest person in medicine. Friends, hello, it's me, Desiree Alexander, and my friend Mark Barton. We came to the Moscow Urban Forum. I would say it's more like an exhibition where modern technologies and methods are gathered, which are either already presented or will be presented soon in Moscow and Russian healthcare. Check it out. Everything is interactive. You can touch, see, and learn. Subscribers, just come as you are. Here, more. There you go. This simulator, look, it scans me and shows how to do the exercises correctly. See, my right hand is correct, but my left isn't, so it starts correcting me.
I want to be a donut, a bird.
He does it very well. Here we have, look, a printer for printing biological tissue. Part of the skull is missing after an injury, you see, and reconstruction is done with an artificially printed skull. This is a printer for creating artificial tissue. As far as I know, they printed a small thyroid gland on the International Space Station, implanted it in a mouse, and it took root and worked in the mouse. And look, this is what the printer looks like. These are small thyroid glands printed on a biological printer. This is what it looked like at the beginning, and this is the modern model. I thought, why can't we print Leydig cells? For those who don't know, Leydig cells are what produce testosterone in our bodies. Imagine, if you have hypogonadism and low testosterone, that's awesome. You wouldn't need to go on hormone replacement therapy or take clomiphene. You just print Leydig cells, inject them into your testicle, and you continue, or rather, you start producing testosterone like you did when you were 20. So basically, I think if we managed to get to Leydig cells, it would actually be a really big breakthrough. And I think it would even deserve a Nobel Prize because it would defeat age-related androgen deficiency in men. That would be really cool. Look, this is a device that accelerates regeneration and promotes tissue healing. So for example, let's take Mark and imagine someone stabbed him with a fork. We fill the holes and this device speeds up regeneration by 3 to 4 times. With this regeneration device, you'll spend just 3 or 4 days in the hospital instead of 10 if we adjust something for you. Behind me is a simulator of the Moscow ambulance dispatch service. You can sit down and try what it's like to be an operator, meaning you'll receive a call. And as I understand it, the new system works in such a way that when the ambulance is already on its way to the hospital, everyone at the hospital already knows about the patient. Typically, they'd bring someone in and you'd have to decide who to call right then. When you call the surgeon, time passes, but at the clinic, you already know who you need, so the patient gets qualified help faster. Look, for example, this is an excellent device. It stimulates the robot. By taking these devices, you can sit here, look into these eyepieces, and start stitching something. Let's give it a try. This thread is called a fork. It's not just a manipulator. I can cut with it. Now I'm restarting the simulator, and it gave me the thread. What's the operation's purpose? To stitch up the vagina, you see, there's a loop here. This is called a fork thread. I pass it through and continue stitching.
Basically, I'm clipping the vessels. Watch closely. We take the clamp, grab the vessel, pull it back, and apply the clip.
How can I do this?
Look at your sweat.
Look.
Sasha, I'm going to clamp the vessel now. Everything's ready.
Here is a mannequin positioned like an airplane wing. It simulates various severe emergency and urgent conditions like bleeding or, for example, anaphylactic shock. So, using the different tools here, you can make a diagnosis and try to save him. If you make the wrong diagnosis, you won't be able to save him. And basically, you have everything you need at hand. I think there's an ultrasound there you can use to see what's wrong with him.
Maybe we can role play. You'll be saving a life and telling me what to do, and I'll be your assistant.
Can you do a meniscus without issues? I'm checking the ligament. See, here it is. I don't think it's in great shape. Here's the second ligament. Let's check it. I'm pressing the button, it's starting to nibble at it. Yes. See, I'm leveling it, trimming it. I need to even out this part so the meniscus is level. There, it's fixed. Mark, do you want to assemble the ankle? Next we see a fracture, so our task now is to fix it with a screw. Yeah, Mark, go ahead, or he'll file a complaint against you. He drilled everything, and you damaged it all. You cut a major artery, Mark. We can't keep up. He's ready to file a complaint with the department. Would you have killed someone? I'm working in psychological healthcare. Honestly, I can say when I do surgery, when I do it live, it's actually easier than here because there's feedback. I can sense tissue resistance more subtly, but here it's just a simulated block. Normally, cerebrospinal fluid would flow, confirming I'm in the right spot, but this is only a simulation. See, it's the same on the X-ray. This is good practice. They use a large needle for spinal anesthesia, so when told you'll feel a small prick, remember the doctor has a huge needle. I wouldn't agree to that anywhere. You said they were huge, but I didn't realize just how big. When I had knee surgery, I refused. Here, you can be the scariest person in medicine, a dentist. You can choose the tool you'll use to cause him pain and accordingly treat this unfortunate person. Here is this bad tooth. And look, a complete imitation of a dental drill is right in your hands. You move it here and it repeats the movement there. And here is a cool device that teaches you how to do it. By the way, it's probably one of the more difficult nursing procedures, putting a tourniquet on the arm. You found the vein? Here it is, the vein. Now, I'm going to embarrass myself and won't be able to get it. Actually, when I used to work at the emergency hospital, we did this quite often. No, look, as Thor used to say, still worthy. Look, I got it, still worthy, as they say. Look how beautiful that is. I'm in Las Vegas at an expo and will speak at this forum in September. There are about 1,000 people here. Check out this amazing stage. I'll be performing here, so come by. Robots, exoskeletons, domestically produced prosthetics, things we used to always buy abroad, are now slowly starting to be produced here as well. Look, this exoathlete reminds you of the movie Terminator.
It's actually made for children and is used specifically to help develop muscle memory. It's very important, for example, if a child has a nervous system disorder, so that they have the opportunity to use this device, which, as I mentioned before, helps the child recover and develop muscle memory.
We make prosthetics that allow people to snowboard, wakeboard, do motocross downhill. So these are for people who have already learned to walk and now want to use their bodies more actively. This is our company at RFDN. Initially, we were designing medical equipment in general, looked at global analogs, thought about how we could do better, and started developing our own. Yes.
By the way, an interesting thing is this aging simulator. Here is a young man. He put on all this equipment that restricts his mobility and limits all movements: knees, elbows, ankles, wrists, and chest. The weights are given to him, and he's assigned to perform basic tasks, like brushing his teeth, putting on glasses, picking up slippers. You can imagine how much harder this will be at 60 or 70. Look, these are sequins that flip over. When I raise my hands, it completely scans us and repeats our silhouettes. On this board today with us is my friend, who is also the director of Urban Forum
and deputy head of Moscow's Department of Labor and Social Protection. In the coming weeks until mid-September at the guest yard, you can see how people can use Moscow's services to live a long, interesting, and healthy life. In the center, you've likely seen the digital human sculpture. Let's go, I'll show you. The idea behind the 8-meter digital human art object is that whatever the team of Mayor Sergei Sobyanin and the people of Moscow do, ecology, transportation, construction, education, Moscow longevity, social protection, everything is done for the person, for people. At the center of it all is a slightly entertaining area. We add a competitive element. You can ride bicycles together, 2 or even 4 people, and travel through this digital Moscow along VDNKH or the Garden Ring. Artificial intelligence tells you what happens if you eat a bun, a sandwich with sausage, or a Snickers bar. How many kilograms and how many minutes do you need to ride a bike around the city to offset the number of calories you ate so your metabolism works properly, and so on. It's both fun and entertainment and education. We'll go to the education zone, and here everyone who comes to the forum can improve and understand their meta skills. First of all, there's an interactive floor where you can choose the right answer, kick around, and pick formulas.
If you like the format of today's, let's say, report-style filming, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. By the way, I actually helped with this particular exhibit. With bad habits,
yes, Sasha was practically a scientific consultant. Here's what we're talking about here. That habits, which each time you do them, each time they show up, seem to cause no harm, but they build up like a multi-layered cultural or anti-cultural layer. By doing this, they ruin a person's destiny. alcohol, but everyone drinks a little. Many people do, like 2 glasses of wine at dinner, but the liver doesn't have time to recover, and in the end it's still alcoholism, which leads to liver cirrhosis. Here, there are layers of fibrosis, hardening, when the liver can't recover or cleanse the blood, causing serious consequences. Here is an art object about smoking during pregnancy. The consequences are terrible, horrible. Every cigarette is a strain and trauma for your heart. An art object. Special sound effects also talk about this. Coughing is one of the most common things, and many people think it's not a bad habit, but it is very harmful. It's indifference. Every 6th case of cancer is detected at a late stage because we don't go to the doctor. We're afraid. We think it will go away on its own. Here is lung cancer and metastasis, the favorite sin of gluttony. This is what fat looks like in an enlarged format. You can touch it. It's unpleasant. Let me touch it.
A kilogram of fat. It's so disgusting.
Yeah, disgusting, disgusting. It's also 36 degrees, and here it's a bit cooler, but fat is a burden on the whole body system. You know, a lot of people see it sometimes. You go to the beach and people are wearing swimsuits with stretch marks. That's just unhealthy, nightmare horror. It's not big bones or about being a good person. There shouldn't be much of it. It's laziness and obesity, and many people probably know this. Everyone has acquaintances like that. They might be a good person, but that's heart obesity. It's hard for them to work.
And everything is like that for him. His liver is like that, and his intestines are all covered in fat. So, when you see fat, understand that fat is on all your internal organs. And your endocrine system is unhealthy, your testosterone is low, your insulin is high, and there's a huge load on your musculoskeletal system. All that fat needs to be supplied. This isn't about beauty. All these excesses aren't about beauty.
Sasha, did you also take part? And many people don't understand that stress is also a factor that has a destructive effect on health. About 199 years ago, people didn't realize that radiation or living near a uranium river could harm health. Excessive stress wears the body out 40% faster, which is alarming. That's the reason for this art object.
There's a lot more interesting stuff here. We kept walking, looking around.
Bring your family. Free entry at Gostiny Dvor until September 10th.